1997. The entire city is a walled maximum security prison. The bridges are mined. The rivers are patrolled. And the United States police force has everything under control, they think.
I'm going in.
John Carpenter's Escape from New York, the high adventure of the future. One man must go in where no man has ever gotten out. And if he comes back alone, his nightmare has just begun.
Who are you?
John Carpenter's Escape from New York.
Heard you were dead.
John Carpenter's Escape from New York, the greatest escape of them all, is about to blow the future apart.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Geekfest Rants. Today we have another one of our commentary specials. The movie we are tackling today is the John Carpenter classic, Escape from New York. We have here joining me Steve Vivona. Say hi, Steve.
Hello, gentlemen.
And Steve Laux.
Howdy.
There we go. All right, as in previous commentary episodes, we are going to start with the menu. And we're going straight to play, and I will give you a series of visual cues as they come, and hit play now. Up comes the 20th Century Fox logo. We are using, by the way, a Blu-ray version of the film, which should be just the same as a standard DVD version. The FBI warning has just come up. And we are going to hopefully get another logo now coming up. And here it comes. Any second now.
Any day now.
MGM, Lion is Roaring. Okay, that's our second to last warning. We have one more warning. It's the first credit that we're going to see. And I will read it as soon as it pops up. I can hear the music underneath. And music is building, and here it is. Avco Embassy Pictures, International Film Investors, Goldcrest Film International presents John Carpenter's Escape from New York. And we're in, gentlemen.
And we're in.
All right.
Well,
Carpenter.
we've done John Carpenter specials before.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
And this is one of the...
quintessential.
It's either the best or the second best as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Why don't we talk a little bit about the background of John Carpenter before this film? Just a little bit. What's he coming off? What's his clout?
Well, he's immediately coming off The Fog, and also Halloween, which I would say Halloween is what generated his clout. And he's entering into, or is in the midst of, I would say, his classic period.
Yeah. Technically, I would consider this science fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's action, but it's science fiction.
A
Yeah,
science
sure.
fiction action picture.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, apparently this was part of a two-picture deal. The first of which being The Fog, and
Right.
I think the second film was, I forget the name of the title, The Philadelphia Experiment.
Oh, the Philadelphia, which he was originally supposed to direct.
Right. And that
Wow,
fell through.
The regular
With Michael Pare.
That one?
That one,
Yeah.
he was.
Holy
Steve's right.
smokes.
He
Yeah.
was supposed to direct that, and that fell through.
Yes. So
And he had this.
he had this kind of on the shelf.
Yes.
Carpenter wrote this film as a response to the Watergate scandal.
Right.
And for years, couldn't quite articulate how to bring this film to screen. And the basic premise was distrust in the president and the government and what would happen.
I think a word I keep hearing when people describe this film is dystopian.
Yes.
It's a mess. It's a very dark, ugly world.
Isn't that his worldview in general? Dystopian?
Yes. But politically, yeah, this one, he really is an angry guy.
Yeah. Well, he's never lost that. I mean, he may have mellowed a little, but he's always had these distrust of authority issues. And
Right.
Produced by Deborah Hill.
Now, this isn't the first time he works with
Deborah
Kurt
Hill?
Russell and Deborah Hill, obviously.
No, not the first time.
Kurt Russell, he will go on to continue with him a couple more times. And before this, I believe he did Elvis.
Yes, Elvis,
Right.
which was a TV movie.
Now, this takes place in 1988. The movie came out in 81?
81.
81.
Yes.
And by the way, that voice, that was Deborah Hill.
That was Deborah Hill. Okay.
Ah,
I
cool.
thought it was.
I remember seeing the commercial for this, and it was so cool because it's like, oh, wow, that's Manhattan, and it could happen. It's only a few years away.
Well, and especially for us, having been from New York, it's
Right.
right here in our backyard to think, that would be an interesting, you get a sense of the geography that they're
Right.
talking about.
Right.
You could see, and we've talked about this before, but you see certain landmarks, and you're like, that's where Snake walked out of this place,
Right,
and that's
right.
where Snake landed, and that's where Snake did this.
But what we didn't know is that most of the
Nowhere.
places Snake was were
Nowhere
nowhere near
near
New
New
York.
York.
Near New York.
We'll talk more about that in a bit.
Now, this is also not CGI.
Right, this is
Maybe
animation.
you can speak to this a little.
Yeah, this
Ellis.
to me looks like, and I imagine for the period of time and for the budget, this is classical animation that looks like computer graphics, which is a trick they used to do a lot back then. So
1997.
now it's 1997. We move forward a little further down the road, which is almost 20 years since the time where we first saw this film.
Now, we have to put a disclaimer out there in that the penultimate commentary has already been done for this film by Kurt Russell and John Carpenter. So we might retread on some of those
Right.
Anecdotes, but we'll try to keep it as fresh as possible
Right,
to our own experiences.
Absolutely.
I believe as
Since
we
we
go
weren't there.
as we go into darkness here, they use a trick where they
Is that
they secretly
That's
dissolve.
a cut.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You see, there's two things happening here. One is the live action, and now you're moving into a matte shot, basically, with the background being probably a matte painting or a blue screen, and the guys in front, the foreground guys, are real.
And we have the World Trade Center.
The World Trade Center in the future, in the alternate future. Not a very high-techy future, just
no.
kind of like a. I mean,
Just
there's no
dirty and-
there's no laser guns. This isn't
No.
this isn't Buck Rogers.
No.
But given the time and given the budget, it looks damn good.
Now the skyline, those are James Cameron matte paintings, right?
I don't know if I know he's involved in this. I know he was
Oh,
part
yeah.
of the
No,
special
he was
effects.
a
group.
matte
Yeah,
artist,
he was working for it was Roger Corman's company.
And his name will be somewhere in here, which we'll look for it later.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
credits.
But if you ever IMDb Cameron, this is one of the films that pops up.
Has very much an Alcatraz on a grand
Yes.
scale
Yeah.
feel to it.
Yes. See ya.
The deal is that obviously the whole island is a prison. You know, the you can't get out by water because they'll find you and blow you up. The bridges are mined, and they just kind of when you're in, you're in. You're
in,
not
and
coming
that's it.
out.
You're not
That's-
coming
Right.
out.
It's,
There's no jail cells.
only the strong survive.
Yep.
Right.
Now, apparently, at the time, this was the first production allowed to film at Liberty Island at night, if not at all.
Right. 'cause
And
that's
they-
not a
and-
special effect.
No,
That's
No,
real.
that's
this is
real.
the only scene
And
that's
I think it's the only
legitimately-
New York scene
Yes.
in the film.
Yep.
And they actually had a bomb scare 3 months before they shot this, so they were really on edge with letting anybody access the island.
Now this is Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins, great character actor. And
No-
also someone I would say, if you work with Carpenter twice, you're part of the stable.
Eh.
And he was in Season of the Witch.
Yes.
Plus a lot of 80s and 70s horror films and sci-fi
Yeah,
films.
Right.
The Night
There
of
we
the
go.
Creeps.
Here's another transition from
Transitional
one
shot.
Right.
location to the next.
Yeah,
So
once we go
from
dark,
Liberty
it's
Island
going to switch.
We're going to be in
to-
L.A.
L.A.
It's a way of
Basin.
it's a trick. It's a way of getting around having
It's
to
a
do
good
high
trick,
special
yeah.
effects.
And it's not jarring.
Right, you transition from one to the other.
Now, is the Sepulveda Basin where they filmed the motorcycle chase in T2?
Oh,
I think it might be. I can't say
Well, they
that
do
with
a lot
authority.
And Greece.
They do
You know, the
Greece.
race at
The
the
race
end
in
of
Greece.
Greece. Classic boss.
now what we don't see here is what happened to Snake before he got there,
Yes.
Right.
which is something that you might find on the special editions or the
Any of the recent
bonus
special
material
editions, yeah,
that show you that scene where he apparently robbed a bank or
Federal
something.
Reserve
yeah, with another
Depository.
guy. The other guy
Right.
gets killed, but he makes it, but goes to prison.
Right. Kurt Russell, star of the computer wore tennis shoes.
Now, when did you first see this film?
I probably saw this on cable. I mean, I was 11 years old when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say that maybe when I was about 12 or 13. Again, you know, I had a
Yeah, me
friend.
too.
I had a friend who kind of foisted these movies on me, you know, and I was not as cinematically literate as I am now, as I'd like to think I am. And
Look at that badass.
look at that! Look at that!
He's all attitude.
He is. He really
Put that
projects.
Disney film in your pipe and smoke it.
And the people there are kind of like, they're expecting him. It's almost like they want to see. They finally captured
he's-
so and so.
he's famous.
Let's take a look at him before they grind them up.
Apparently, the eye patch was his idea. Kurt
It's
Russell.
great.
I mean, the only futuristic thing looking here is probably the fonts they use on
Yes.
the walls. The
Well, that was
Yes.
like 70s and 80s version of
future fonts.
I think they might have modified the guns that they're all carrying as well.
Wow, look at that caddy looking limo.
Oof, the little bump out on the top. Now,
Lee
why,
Van
why does
Cleef.
he arrive in a limo? He
And-
should be in a military vehicle.
And what's
right?
the deal with
or the
his?
United States Police Force? Isn't that what they're called? Something like that.
What's the deal with his like the spikes on the wrist and the earring?
Yeah, I was thinking about that when I was watching it the other day. The earring, I'm like, really?
Well, I think it's meant to imply that he's seen some action as well. Maybe he
okay.
was on the other side.
He's not
because
a paper
he-
pusher.
He
He's
has
a-
this familiarity with Snake.
Yes,
you know they
they've
make
heard of each other.
They I forget what the story is. It's coming up pretty soon.
Lee Van Cleef, great character actor who was he was in High Noon
Oh,
and he was in The
lot
Good,
of
the Bad, and the Ugly.
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of spaghetti westerns for a few dollars more. For many years, worked in Europe, and he was actually just kind of back in the U.S. doing roles at this point. And I think Carpenter probably chose him because of his affinity for his westerns.
kind of a simple set design here. I mean, it
Yeah.
is high tech. Obviously, they're all looking at like radars, but it's not overly sci-fi.
Right.
Like you got to have a
Well,
button
that's
in
why.
every
Well,
wall.
that's why I think one of the reasons why this film dates well. You know, it doesn't.
It doesn't pinpoint. It doesn't
doesn't-
pigeonhole you.
You know, you're not like like Soylent Green or something where it's so cheesy.
So they're listening to the
terrorists
SOS message from the
From Air Force One.
from Air Force One, which at the time they don't know what
They don't know it's
plane
Air
it is.
Force
There's
One.
it's a secret code on it.
Now here we have some fonts, some.
That sound is familiar. That's like an alien sound where messages are coming through, but you hear almost like the paper, the printing, the dot matrix printer printing it.
That's a good shot
That's not bad for the time.
for the time. It holds up.
I mean, you zoom into it. That's pretty cool. I mean, you
Now I
get,
believe the backstory here is that she posed as a stewardess
Yes.
and shot up the place and took over the cabin.
And I believe that gentleman, isn't that Gerald Ford's son?
Oh, I don't know.
the inside looks very presidential.
Oh yeah,
That look, the white walls and the.
Donald Pleasance.
Now, has anybody ever explained the president with an English
British?
accent?
Supposedly, he came up with some sort of a backstory to explain why the president could be British, but Carpenter didn't even just was like, whatever.
He looks cool.
Yeah,
That's enough.
he's- Now, prior to his role in Halloween,
Now, is this
Mork
from
calling
Mork and Mindy?
Orson. Come in, Orson.
That's how Mork arrived
Yes,
on Earth. That's how the
yes.
president leaves.
That's great.
Pleasance had a long, long career in England prior to
yeah.
prior to Halloween, and U.S. audiences probably knew him best for The Great Escape, but he was in tons and tons of British films. Now this scene is a little creepy, given what happens. Yeah, it's a little jarring. And he, but then he became one of Pleasance's boys. Carpenter's boys.
That's great. Look at that.
That's an
That's
awesome
a miniature.
model.
That's
a
great miniature.
miniatures. Yeah.
By the way,
water.
So they essentially took the models, and I think they put white tape on them.
Yes.
Right. That's how they achieved that.
That's how they achieved that effect.
Yeah.
Because it's not CGI.
No.
Absolutely not.
That's amazing.
They were industrious back then. They really were.
They had to be creative. Not that you don't have to be creative.
Rubber
now,
bands
but-
and chewing gum. Is that what they say?
Yeah.
So they're dispatching a couple of helicopters to go
hopefully to Manhattan Island.
pick up survivors.
How about you, Carlos? When did you first see this film?
I must have seen it either on video or on cable, because I definitely didn't see it in the at the movies. But like Steve said, back then I wasn't as savvy to say there's something a little weird here. Something's
There's
interesting,
something special
right,
about this director.
This is from the trailer. That shot.
Yes.
I would say I probably didn't start appreciating stuff as much until like lasers came on.
Right,
Lasers, when we were able to examine frame by frame and
hear
and
commentaries.
the music and everything,
Yeah,
that's when something clicked. Then
And there was just something. I think the three of us, since we're fans, can agree that we appreciated. I mean, even if I don't necessarily share the man's worldview, I liked his. The fact that his films were never wrapped up in a tight, neat bow at the end.
Right.
That his characters were anti-heroes.
Well, he's a kid. He's a child of the child of the 60s, really.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he started to express himself in the 70s.
In the 70s, yeah.
I mean, I know this is in New York, but it could be.
It could be.
Now, where did they shoot this? Detroit?
East St. Louis.
St. Louis.
And apparently they had scouted many different cities, and it just so happened that this city had gone through some upheaval in the late 70s and a lot of fires, and it was just...
Yeah, there was an urban fire in 1976 and basically torched the place. So,
and it was still in that state.
And on top of that, the city allowed them to turn off the electricity for 10 blocks at a clip so that they could create their own light and make it look real, that there is no power here.
Look at the effect, the lighting effect here.
That's not a special effect.
That's
a real flare.
Yeah, it's a flare.
But did Carpenter know that was happening?
No, probably not.
Looks neat.
They're probably like
shooting on
like
film.
Abrams, J.J. Abrams, eat this, eat it.
Lens flare.
Not for,
Speaking of J.J. Abrams, is that Romero? Did you see Cloverfield?
I did.
There's a scene where the Statue of Liberty's head gets...
Yes.
It's an homage to the poster for Escape from
Escape
New
from
York, because you have that Liberty head there.
That's a great
now,
poster.
speaking of attitude again, look at this guy's
guy.
wall.
Oh, yeah.
This freaking guy
He
is something else.
Out there. I like the little
And I
little
kind
bow.
of think he was kind of not too far away from the character he was playing.
Look at this.
I love the bow.
Oh, what the hell? He does. And there's the finger.
There we go.
The presidential finger.
Kind of looks like Michael Biehn a little bit, like his deranged uncle.
If you locked him in a closet for a month. Okay, there you go. He's nuts. If you were wondering whether or not that guy was nuts, he is nuts.
Apparently, the set designers would go to the local dump every day, and they would just get garbage
And pile
just
it on.
just like dump it around the streets.
It's very effective.
Just back up a garbage truck and open it and just dump
and
it.
then just sort it out and strategically place it.
Nice colorful displays in the back. Funny how the picture changes when they focus from one to the other. The background expands.
Uh-huh. Now, if I'm correct, the studio, did they want Charles Bronson to do
Charles
this?
Bronson was one name mentioned,
Wow.
and Carpenter said he thought he was too old for the role.
And I think Carpenter also didn't want an established actor who wouldn't take direction as well as
Yeah.
Kurt Russell.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I mean, at the time, I mean, we grew up knowing this film, but this was a bold casting choice,
Mm-hmm.
given his
Oh yeah.
his career prior.
Squeaky clean image.
Yep.
Now the props in the office tells you about this guy. You see the guns on the
Yes.
wall. He's a
The
badass,
swords,
Yes.
just like
Yeah.
Bliskin.
He's a military.
He's an
man.
older badass.
Career military.
Big scar also on his face. They put.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. Very dark scene. Even the office is dark. Everything's dark.
Mm-hmm.
I love that jacket.
Wow, it definitely seen some action.
He busted it out and escaped from L.A. He kept it.
They're going through the resume, basically.
Yes.
Why is he good for this? I like those handcuffs, too. There's no chain. It's a stick.
Yep.
So you can't get your hands close to each other.
Now I think the backstory is World War III has
Best
either
line, best
happened-
line. President of what?
Yeah. World War III is happening.
It's happening,
Yes.
and I believe Snake lost his eye in Leningrad or some. It's fighting in Russia.
Get a new president.
There you go. Well, the first time I saw this film was on Disco Vision.
Oh,
Yeah.
Disco Vision?
I didn't have it, but one of
Did it come with a leisure suit?
one of my friends in the neighborhood had Disco Vision, the precursor to Laserdisc format, and he had a handful of films. So you got to figure this came out in '81. That probably hit the home video market next year, 82.
83 at the latest.
So I was like 10, 11 years old,
Yeah.
and he had some R-rated films. So we went over his house in the afternoon and watched Escape from New York on Disco Vision. I think it was a double feature, that and Blowout with John Travolta. Or was it...
De Palma.
Yeah, I think it was Blowout.
Okay.
Mhm.
Inglorious,
Or maybe Dress to Kill.
Inglorious Pan and Scan.
Exactly.
Now, those were the discs that were actually in the box, like you shoved it
The
all.
whole box
like a giant
into
floppy
it.
disk.
Yeah, it was like a big 8-track.
Yes.
Now he's going over all his weapons, which is really cool. Again, not very futuristic,
No.
but
cool.
Cool shit.
Did they change his clothes? Or was he wearing those pants when he got off the
He was
bus?
wearing them. He was wearing the same pants and the same shirt.
They've been talking about remaking this movie with Gerard Butler.
For years.
Apparently he's out.
Good.
And now
Just don't do it.
Well, I also heard whose name thrown around? Josh Brolin
Oh.
or there's somebody else. I forget who.
I don't see why Kurt Russell couldn't do it.
The only bright room in this whole movie.
Yes.
The medical center, I guess.
We're still dealing with the blinking light technology.
Yeah, but
of
it's in the background. It's
yeah.
far away. He's got the timer.
Jeremy Renner is the other one.
Oh.
Be interesting.
Yeah. I could see him more than Gerard Butler. Mm-hmm. Not that I want to see it at all.
Well, Kurt Russell said that he said that Snake Plissken is an American.
They never really go into any great detail as to what.
That's kind of
this
thin.
tape-
Like,
yeah.
what is the relationship between World War III, the U.S. and the Soviets, the U.S., the Soviets, and the Chinese, right? Isn't it the Chinese or the
Yes.
Japanese that they're going to
Chinese,
this
yes.
summit, and nuclear fusion? I don't quite know how that all
It's never been
connects.
adequately explained, I don't think.
All right, they just shot him up with the special pill.
The expulsive capsules.
Capsules that will...
Now, do you think, because he's going to tell him, do you think he would have sent them in without telling him? Of course he's got to tell him, because that's the whole motivational...
Oh, yeah, to get him to do
it.
Because he's going to die if it doesn't help.
"22 hours. He just lost another hour." It's getting worse by the minute.
Nice pseudoscience there. What the hell are you talking about?
Now it's never you never quite know if they're telling the truth.
If they're BSing it.
If they're
Now,
just
didn't
giving him
they-
a line that
Well, they...
Didn't they do something similar in Escape from L.A. and they were messing with him?
yeah.
I think they did. Nice Carpenter synth score.
Yeah, that's the other thing. This is all Carpenter.
Yeah.
And Alan Howarth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, he's got a little bit of, like, padding on now, because I guess it's the, like, armor for the mission, and obviously weapons all over the place. And he's getting in the glider. That's going to be pulled by a prop plane, I guess.
Yeah.
And released.
So they pick a glider because it's silent? Is that the
Silent, I
reason why?
guess.
Again, simple, not too fancy.
Not too fancy, not too futuristic.
Even the way they light him. They light him from the back in red, and they give him the glare from the monitors in the face
Yep.
as enough light to get you to see what's going on.
Now, I believe the man behind Lee Van Cleef is Charles Cyphers,
Cyphers.
who was in Halloween.
Yes.
Now, this looks real.
Yeah, it looks great.
I don't think there's anything fake about that glider, at least the taking off part.
Well, is it a miniature or
No, I'm saying it looked
No,
like
that
a
I
real
think was real.
glider.
That was real?
Yeah.
Like a real size. Yeah, that other device is what tells them if he's alive or not.
But he can only use it twice? Isn't there a situation where he can't keep pressing that thing? Or he can?
I don't know.
Or
if it just has
it
one.
comes off, so he had to reset it or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. Now, all these things you're saying
Or
are
traced.
based on...
They're the actual models.
That's insane. Now, here's what's weird. At the time, there were graphics, or they weren't graphics, and how would they know that a graphic would show you a grid of a building if it didn't exist yet? Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, they decided to create these white lines to simulate the city as a computer graphic.
Right.
But how would they know that's what a computer graphic would
Well,
look
because
like?
they're wireframes. So
Right.
wireframes were used in, physical wireframes in working on models, right?
So it might work for computers too, probably, even though they haven't had it yet. Now he's got to land that thing on top of the World Trade Center.
Trade Center.
which you couldn't imagine how you could stop
Exactly.
or even hit it. I guess partly miniature right there.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the landing and what we're watching right now, it's all miniature. Whoa. Also, do this at night. You can disguise a lot of things
Yes.
that
Right.
you don't have to see, or that looks a
Absolutely.
little cheesy when you're dealing with
Yep.
miniatures.
No, absolutely.
Doesn't even dignify that with a response.
Now, does anybody know, was there ever an elevator that went all the way to the top?
Oh, I believe so.
Or was that stairs access
there was
only?
a bank of elevators. I think maybe
To the roof?
No, well, no, I don't know about the roof.
Because that's
but-
where he's at.
Right, but I think you had to get off at like a skyway or something. Like you went up so far, and then you had to transfer elevators. I believe I was never actually in the World Trade Center. I never set foot in it. But no, I don't believe there was an elevator like going. To
Not
the
like
roof.
that.
No,
It's a little creative license, I guess.
maybe some sort of a service elevator. Yeah. They didn't predict cell phones. Well, these walkie-talkies.
It's like a World War II walkie.
Oh,
Ooh. There's a Carpenter trademark.
There you go.
The music and
music
the
cue.
sting. So the elevator only got him down to a certain level. Now he's got to take the
Nice
stairs.
little- Right.
And
now
he's
we're
down.
on the street
on the streets.
with a really big gun.
So it might have taken him like a half hour to climb down,
Could be.
Maybe.
depending on what floor was on. He's putting the silencer on the gun because obviously he's still trying to be quiet about things. And the more you see of the streets, the more you try to kind of recognize or figure out where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it's a little difficult to tell, but he's trying to approach the plane crash site.
Now, I believe there's kind of a continuity error here in terms of what this wreck is. It's not really what Air Force One, the kind of model aircraft that Air Force One is.
But was it the same one that we saw on the flying shot? In other words, did the flying shot
Match
was that
this?
an accurate representation of? Well, who knows? It's the future.
it's-
You could say whatever you want. It doesn't matter. A lot of boarded up buildings we're used to seeing when you drive through certain areas.
Certain areas.
I saw Air Force One once on at O'Hare.
Okay.
I think President Obama flew to Chicago for his birthday,
Uh huh.
and they had it parked out on the runway. And
That's cool.
we were trying to take off. We could see it.
Now, I wonder if they used a real plane for these pieces, or they just constructed this.
They probably went to like an aircraft salvage.
Junkyard?
Yeah.
These are like the walkie-talkies we had when we were kids.
Yeah, not very modern yet.
No.
I mean, he's got a tracking device. So you could say it's kind of like a GPS type of device.
Yeah.
How many times you break an antenna when you close it too quickly?
Yes.
But that's more like a Korean War type of device. I don't even think. Well, maybe Vietnam, maybe.
Walkie-talkies?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
with the big,
With
The
that
big
telescoping antenna.
Yeah, I don't think they had that.
I remember seeing like I think in Vietnam movies you see like the backpack with the antenna that's kind of rubbery.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They already got past the long ridiculous antennas.
So I guess he's supposed to be somewhere around Broadway.
Must be some kind of theater.
Well, actually, no. He should be downtown.
If he's near the World Trade Center, yeah.
Well, I don't. They really don't give you a sense of how far he's
Now,
walked,
granted,
where the
at a
crash
certain
was,
point, he goes to the 59th Street Bridge, so he goes up Manhattan,
which they call the 69th Street Bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, apparently, the song in this little show that he's about to see was written by Nick Castle,
Oh,
and it talks about shooting cops in New York and all kinds of
I
crazy
never
lyrics.
really paid attention to the lyrics. Nick Castle, director of The Last Starfighter.
And the actor who played
The Shape.
The Shape.
The Shape.
in Halloween.
Yeah, at this point, you're watching the movie, you're like, what the hell is going on here?
Jeez.
Is this like an insane asylum or something?
And now we're introduced to Ernest Borgnine.
He also created the Cabby character.
Nick Castle?
Yeah, yeah.
No more Yankees. Is that John Carpenter? At the guitar?
Maybe.
It looks like he's got his long hair.
It could be. I can't say with authority.
Oh, we're gonna have to look it up.
Now, at this point in his career, Ernest Borgnine was basically doing anything and everything, including Love Boat and anything that he could get his hands on.
What's wrong with Love Boat?
And he was lucky. I mean, he was in so much crap at this point in his career, but he did manage. He wasn't very choosy. He's an Academy Award winner.
Huh.
Again, Carpenter, master of casting, just like Raimi.
At first,
get
you're
that
kind of
vibe.
like, what's he up to? Because it's like, why is he so friendly?
I think he just wants to be in on it, whatever it is.
Now, do we ever
Yeah.
find out why he's in jail? Why he's in the prison?
I don't believe so.
As a matter of fact, I don't think you find out why most people are. Most of the characters we meet, they're just there.
Yeah, like Maggie, there's no idea why.
And Brain, he
Brain.
knew him,
Right. Well, you just assume he was
another
arrested.
criminal or something.
Or the Duke. Now, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
What the hell is this? There you go.
He's like, I'll go to the next
And he
one.
just moves on. It's great. Who are you? He's on a mission. He's got to stay focused.
Uh-oh. Hey, Chief.
Now, this guy, the only reason he was in Stir Crazy, and there was the scene in the jail when he's trying to kill a fly, and he smacks Tony Burton's head, and it starts the whole.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy.
All right. Third room. Any luck? Oh, the tracking device seems to be there. And
This
they're
is kind of brutal.
beating on some guy. Now, the guy who...
Was getting his ass kicked.
This guy's a known actor.
George Buck Flower.
He's in every other Western.
He's another one of Carpenter's troupe.
That's right.
I think he had a fairly sizable role in They Live.
They Live. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like the leader of the homeless.
Doesn't he always play a drunk?
I don't,
Whoops.
There you go. Because they do talk about that the people living underground are cannibals.
Mm-hmm.
Again, look at the lights. They're kind of greenish.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's weird. It's not just blue, you know, the blues. They're messing with other colors.
Mm-hmm.
Cinematographer Dean Cundey.
Dean Cundey.
Another collaborator. John Carpenter shot Halloween
Yep.
and went on to work with Steven Spielberg. Jurassic Park. Right?
Jurassic Park.
Jeez.
And others.
And we're going to see the Mork's egg again.
That was great.
Shazbutt. He's gone.
Now, could you imagine somebody
presidential pod.
surviving?
No.
I mean, it's a padded. I know
Aerodynamically,
it's padded, but
looks
that thing
kind
would
of
just, like,
sketchy.
Explode. And anybody inside would just get completely destroyed.
Yeah. Unless it had some sort of like thrusters that slow
No,
it down.
I think it's just like plop, like a neck being hatched. You know, plop. So Snake's taking a break, and something weird is going to happen. Here they go. What do they call them? The crazies or the undergrounds? Or there's a look for you. They're apparently signaling the manhole covers. Something's about to happen. Uh-oh.
Apparently they used wooden manhole covers because there's no way a person would be able to
Right.
move it like that. Those things weigh a ton. I believe they've just been alerted as to his presence as fresh meat.
Yeah, all the manhole covers
Yep.
are popping up. People dressed in like rags are crawling out.
It's like Thriller.
Thriller?
Before it's time.
Get you.
I love New York.
Now, chock full of nuts. This is an
Yep.
actual place that used to be around
so,
there.
Yeah, Carpenter had a sense of
Lexington.
landmarks.
You could see Lexington and something.
Mm-hmm. We'll shortly be introduced to the ex-Mrs. Kurt Russell.
Right. Susan Hubley?
Yep.
So he's trying to hide out, I guess. Whatever's happening outside is happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's her?
That's his ex-wife, Kurt Russell's ex-wife.
Now, has she done anything else that we might remember?
Of note, I don't think she really took off.
Hmm.
She's kind of harsh looking.
Crazies. There you go. There are crazies. Okay.
They're out of food.
So everybody knows
Everybody
him.
knows this guy.
Now, again, this is one of these movies where back then, now it is after Star Wars. In other words, the merchandising craze that Star Wars started didn't follow a lot of films. This film, for example, did not produce any merchandising because it was, first of all, R-rated.
R-rated.
So that's not, you lose points for that. The only thing I do remember is at a toy store I used to go to, they used to have an Escape from New York, kind of like a D&D game.
Oh, that's interesting.
Where I guess you could, they give you a map and you can kind of see where he's at and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So the crazies just, I guess, grabbed her and are going to eat her now.
You also have to remember, I mean, aside from Halloween, a lot of his films were not popular at the time. They just grew in reputation with cable and home video.
Yeah.
He had very few popular successes.
And merchandising, once again, was left for children.
Right.
There is no adult market of collectibles
Not
or
at
toys
this time.
At this time.
No.
I mean, you're lucky if you get your hands on a soundtrack
I'm pretty sure there's bound to
or
be...
a book.
I would, again, I can't speak to it for certain, but I would assume that when Escape from L.A. came out, they were probably Snake Dolls and...
I don't remember much merchandising even for that movie, but I do
what?
know that...
Escape from L.A.?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had McFarlane made.
Right,
figures.
but see
A
what
snake
happened.
figure, at least a snake.
And
I
I have
have
it.
it.
It's in my office.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: for some reason, I think they couldn't get the rights to New York, so they had to use the figure. In other words, it's sold as Snake Plissken.
From
but,
Escape from L.A.
But from what he's wearing and what it says, it's L.A. He's
LA.
wearing different clothes.
Oh, yeah, he's got a whole different outfit.
I think there's some kind of rights issue where they couldn't manufacture
A doll.
This look. And again, at that point, you're talking about a different market. It's years later.
Oh, yeah, it was
It's
15 years later.
You're talking about collectors. You're not talking about, mass toy, or any sort of merchandising. You mean, like I said before, you're lucky you get your hands on a poster or a soundtrack or a book. And that's about it. I mean, this type of film wouldn't even get you cards.
No
trading
cards. No trading cards, absolutely.
Cabby to the rescue.
Yeah, he always kind of shows up at very convenient moments, Cabby.
It kind of leads you to think that he has some ulterior motives going on.
That's what I was saying.
that
It's like,
he's
why is he so
ultimately
friendly
going to
and
betray him.
helpful? And
Yeah.
Is he always looking to be helpful? Or how could he last so long
Right.
being so helpful?
The Pancho Villa of the film.
Yes. Molotov cocktails. Catch that show.
We were talking about the lens flares and the natural quality of the lighting. They really didn't have a huge budget. The budget was $6 million.
Wow.
Which even
then
for the time wasn't a lot of money, and I think that actually was probably why they couldn't afford to get any high-end graphics because computer graphics in the late 70s, early 80s was virtually unheard of.
Right.
But it's almost kind of like whatever was there, they knew what it would look like, so they had to fake it.
Right.
Cheat.
Right.
They had to cheat.
Creative guys.
The Duke.
The Duke.
Hey, number one.
He's got his own branding.
Who is the man?
You cannot say the Duke of New York unless you say a number one.
Number one.
Is that the Doogie Howser theme? I think it is. Doogie, doogie, doogie.
But I mean, just look at the lighting.
Yeah.
You got three things going on. You got grays on one side, green on
Green
the
on
other,
the
and like a
bottom.
reddish dark, and black on the.
Yeah.
It's like four different colors on just a stupid alleyway.
A lot of attention to detail.
Now, is that supposed to be the
I think that's supposed to be the
libraries?
New York
Supposed to be
Public
the-
Library.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where do you fake that?
I was thinking about that. I don't know.
Is
if
there
it-
something in St. Louis?
I think they might have done some backlot in L.A. I don't think all the exteriors are necessarily St. Louis, but again, I'm not speaking from a total authority.
They're going to meet Brain.
I'm going to meet Maggie first. The voluptuous Adrienne Barbeau.
Now, speaking of actors that keep showing up, where have we seen her before, Steve?
Adrienne Barbeau?
Yeah.
Well, you saw her in The Fog.
She was married to Carpenter
She
at
was
the time,
married
right?
to John Carpenter. She was on the television series Maude.
And at this point, she's still pretty nice
Yeah,
looking.
Oh yeah,
She's
still-
probably what, in her early 40s?
maybe
Late
30s.
30s?
Yeah,
Yeah.
mid to late 30s maybe. She's definitely
Notice how-
trading on her assets.
Notice how whenever I make a reference to still looking good, it's whatever age we're at. I'm 10 years from now, I'm going, oh, she looks good for in the 50s.
She just popped up on an episode of, I think it was CSI Miami.
Yeah, you're
she
right.
still gets jobs.
Yeah.
I actually met her at a convention, and she's, I mean, well,
How old is she now?
oh god, she's got to be in her 60s, I think. But you know, pretty well preserved for her age.
Preserved?
Nice.
Are you implying chemicals and
She was also-
mummification?
She was also who could forget her in Creepshow
That's right.
Oh, and in Swamp Thing.
and Swamp Thing.
Or Cannonball Run.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. With Farrah Fawcett. That's right. It was her and Farrah, right?
Farrah Fawcett was in it.
Those
yeah.
two were they in the same
Well,
level?
No, no,
No,
that was some
no.
other girl. Was her
Was it
partner.
Susan Anton?
No,
No.
it was some
Catherine Bach?
no,
No.
some blonde
So obviously,
driving a Lamborghini.
I guess electricity is a little bit of a problem. I wonder if
Now look at that. It's like, what is that? Like an oil derrick or something?
Maybe.
I mean, right in the middle
or
of the...
pumping maybe water.
Maybe water. Harry Dean Stanton.
Practically coming off of Alien.
Alien. You should see what he looks like now.
Gee, well, I'm a season behind Big Love, and yeah,
Yeah,
he's
oh.
a scary looking guy.
He's a very scary looking guy. So Snake has been living his life of crime for quite a few years now.
Fresno Bob.
What? the- Sounds like a western. The man.
You hear the audio? That's actual live dialogue, because the background changes when the angle changes. You can hear the lights behind him.
Oh.
So it's not
No
looped,
ADR.
no
They
looped.
didn't.
No.
Or is it the pump? The thing goes up.
I thought it was the noise from the fluorescent lights.
Yeah, but you don't hear it in the other shot. You only hear it in Kurt Russell's shot.
Now you hear it.
Yeah. It is that,
Pump.
yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
So the alleged plan is that the Duke is going to just open the gates and let everybody out.
Just with the president's head on a pike. It doesn't sound like such a great plan.
Mhm.
I guess the Duke is kind of like a Jim Jones cult.
Tommy Lee Jones was another
Consideration.
for the Snake role.
I could see that.
I could see more as Duke,
Tommy Lee Jones.
like like when he did Two Face, the crazy
Yeah.
his natural
I
killers
can't
and-
picture anybody but Isaac Hayes. as
Well,
the Duke.
obviously. So let me guess. If they do a remake, will it be what's his
Oh.
face? The guy from the Green Mile.
Michael
Michael
Clark
Clark
Duncan.
Doesn't he play
Kingpin?
Yeah.
every role that's like that? That's him.
I just wish they would stop with these remakes. I'm sure John Carpenter gets a great paycheck, but they're just... Did anybody see the remake of The Fog, just out of curiosity? I did
No,
not.
I didn't see it.
No.
No interest. But I think this one, it's almost like with remaking Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, it's Robert Englund that makes the character.
Right.
You know, so you put somebody in the snake role, and it's like, I'm just not interested.
Here comes the Duke, and I can hear his theme song. How did he get there so
Gabby
He
fast?
is so fast.
Wow. I love the chandeliers.
They're awesome. That is such a great touch.
Also, if you notice throughout the film and previous films, Carpenter loves to use fixed lens, shoot anamorphic, 2.35:1. He's very much a proponent of widescreen.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty wide.
Was one of the pioneers to use the Panaglide, which then turned into the Steadicam. So you'll see that all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
We just had a shot before where they were coming down the steps and the camera was walking
And you know,
with them.
Carpenter's one of those directors who, even in the era of home video, with a lot of directors going to Super 35 and not, you know, kind of before widescreen TVs, he refused.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed on the anamorphic bandwagon.
I love. This is going down the floor to let him off the car.
It's probably the appreciation for westerns.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You know, having that grand scale.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely.
Now the Duke is wearing some kind of
I
Napoleon-looking
love it.
jacket
Yeah, with the piping on the sides
and the tails in the back.
Academy Award nominated, possibly winner for Shaft.
Shaft's best original.
Yeah, I think he won the Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
And a star of many blaxploitation films.
And
Truck Turner
and the voice of Chef. On
Chef.
South
and
Park.
Chef.
Hello, children.
Hello, children.
You can't
And-
pin
and-
down the fashion in this thing. It's like
No.
it's not futuristic. It's like almost hippie and almost
It's a gypsy.
yeah. It's a mishmash of everything.
He made a wise decision not trying to push any sort of futuristic look. I mean, even the uniforms for the police.
Very. It's a blank. It's
Just-
a blank slate.
yeah,
You don't know.
yeah.
You're gonna see their faces. You have no idea what's going on.
Right.
Very robotic almost.
Yeah. Like I remember how that cop looked in Star Trek.
It's all riot gear. It's
Yeah.
all.
But you know what I'm talking in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek, the way the cop looked in the beginning scene?
Oh well, that's like Buck Rogers.
yeah.
World.
Ugh.
Now the other thing is gasoline. Was that part of the brains thing? He can tap into whatever natural
Yes.
or gas pumps are left.
And here we go. The car's going to get stoned. Looks like
Ooh.
Clark Griswold's car.
Yes, the family roadster, the family truckster.
And this is kind of like a gag initiation, except you're in a car, and they all beat the crap out of you. Arrows.
It's like the Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
Clint Eastwood and Sandra Locke.
Now the question is, do they know it's not the Duke, or is it that they're in the wrong town?
No,
I think they're in the
I think they're just
wrong
in a
place.
bad
Yeah.
part
Bad
of town.
neighborhood.
It doesn't matter. If it was the Duke, you know, they'd be jumping on
Is this
him
what
too.
happens when you drive through a bad neighborhood?
Yeah. Roll them up.
Roll 'em up.
Roll them up.
Wow, that's a pile of cars. Here they come.
apparently Dean Cundy integrated this new lens at the time, which allowed more light to get in for all these
For
low
night
light
shooting?
situations.
Night
Yeah.
shoots, yeah.
So they really were resourceful.
Probably a lot of wire work there. Pulled some of those cars with wires.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't.
And the
cross
darkness
line.
adds to it. You know,
Yeah.
it adds to the sense that you really are in this place.
Now we never see daylight.
No.
Yeah, there's
And
a
I'm
scene where they're
At-
feeding them. They're dropping food,
Yes.
Yes,
and the people grunt to get them
yes,
off helicopters.
That's right.
While he's waiting to battle, I think, in the arena,
Right.
in the Thunderdome.
Can you imagine shooting at night for
For, like,
weeks on
months?
end
Yeah.
and months?
Now, what is that? Oh, a train station.
Train station. They must have saved so much money by
Found
these-
locations. Yeah.
yeah.
I think the where they have the wrestling match is also in this
Mm-hmm.
Union Station. What do you want, brain?
They're wearing garbage cans as armor. He looks like he could be like Carpenter's buddy or something.
Mm-hmm.
See, they just explained
Comes up with the gas.
the gas.
So. Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Nice shot.
And you linger on it.
Yep.
It's like the little girl with the ice cream.
Oh,
Just linger
Classic,
there.
Oh,
classic
man.
Geekfest moment. The ice cream.
He's still got an arrow in his leg. His hair looks like it's getting longer as we watch the film. There's the cue
That was
again.
a really sharp cue. I love those fake punch noises.
See, I just finally figured out what they all look like. They look like Cheech and Chong, all of them.
Yes.
Like an army
Yeah.
of Cheech and Chongs.
Better get out of there, brain.
Oh, here's the Duke.
There he is.
And the weird guy. Oh, what the hell is he doing?
That's great.
What is that, like, stay here?
Does he even have like instructions on what to do, or does this
I
guy
think
just does whatever
I
he
think
wants?
he improv'd a lot. Love the
Got that little twitch in the eye.
Oh.
Oh.
Another member of the fan club.
Ooh, a tire iron to the
Ouch.
head. That's going to leave a mark.
I like that guy's glasses there. Purple shades.
That's what most people say.
If they heard he was dead, who killed him?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Or a government thing where,
Yes.
we lost so-and-so on a mission, and all of a sudden he's robbing banks.
Or maybe the government perpetuated the lie that he was dead.
As part of his cover for...
Well, no, maybe just because he's such a folk hero.
Oh, that they needed to squash
Just
it.
no,
Keep
we
hope
got
down.
him.
Yeah.
Like a Bin Laden thing. No, I'm not suggesting that.
But no, but he's...
Wow, you really
But-
took that far.
But I mean, this guy's actively robbing banks.
Yes.
He's not like a guy who he's being set up.
Right.
I like the bottle caps.
Guy looks like he belongs in Big Trouble in Little China.
That's a
There you
real
go,
shot.
some
That's a real
daylight.
shot. Yeah, that's some daylight.
With a I guess a real helicopter must be.
Maybe.
That's
yeah.
the Statue. That's yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. And as we said before, this is one of the few times where it's actually daytime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're still indoors, but there's a change to the light even indoors. It's a wider, brighter light. And obviously, you look out the window.
Now, didn't Russell have several different eye patches? And depending on the shot or how close or how far he was in the shot, the one was actually one that he could see through.
Yeah, it was mesh so
Yeah.
that he could see, especially if he was running or for
Yeah.
the fight scene so that he wouldn't get clocked. But for the close-ups, I think it was the full
Yes.
blacked out patch.
This is great. Certain lines of dialogue that have delivered by Donald Pleasance have become iconic.
A strategically placed tattoo.
I guess that's why they call him Snake.
These guys were in the Warriors.
All the extras that came over.
Around the same time.
Look at his fingernails.
Duke? Oh, this guy with the
weirdo.
red. Oh my God, his nails are painted. I never noticed that before.
That's a lot of crap.
What did I teach you?
There we go.
You are the Duke.
What?
You know, ain't number one.
Yeah.
You are the Duke.
Much better.
I love it when he says it at the end. Why does he start like it just?
Uh-oh. He got whose attention. That's how I'm going to remove my glasses from now on. Backwards.
Now is that all the nuclear fusion stuff?
The MacGuffin.
Exactly the gold briefcase, in Pulp Fiction. Look at this guy.
It's like he doesn't know what it is.
I wonder if he's still alive.
Looks like a meth head.
Now, why
Yeah.
would they not have opened that case earlier?
Yeah, he could have had a gun for all you know.
Mm-hmm.
That seems a bit curious to me.
If I was the president, I'd be like, "Where are you taking me? Let's go."
Real helicopters, obviously. No fakes. There you go. See?
There you go.
That's
And-
not real. That's a mat.
The background is a mat.
I think they shot that in California.
That's him. That's Carpenter.
That was Carpenter.
Yeah,
I see Carpenter everywhere. That's Carpenter. No, that's a woman. Sorry.
I love you. The grid.
Just Tron.
Where am I? Am I on the grid? I am a user. I'm not a program.
Hi, crazy people.
Yeah, seriously? Like you'd land?
No. Can we just throw shit?
Yeah.
I don't want to get anywhere near that. Oh, that guy fell. Let's do it again. Can't afford. The helicopter's got enough gas for only one more trip.
Now, I don't understand that. Why was the briefcase left for
I
the...
guess more proof of life. More proof that they still have them.
Yes, I guess.
Maybe.
But I didn't get the sense that there was any communication between the Duke
Well, no,
and...
they said, get out of here and we'll tell you what our demands are. Maybe their demands are in the briefcase.
Oh. Harold.
Look at what she's doing with that telescope over there.
Mm.
I think that's a secret message to you.
To me.
To 11-year-old you.
Well, 11-year-old me was definitely checking her out.
Yeah, see? There you go. Street.
You would have thought they would have backed it up.
Technology in the future, we're still using cassettes, you know?
You could still duplicate a cassette.
Quick, crank the megaphone. It's like, no, it's the future. It's a different kind of future. It's a retro future.
It's a retro future.
Some more daylight.
Yes.
There's more daylight than I remember in
Me
this film.
too.
I guess they figured we needed a break.
But obviously not a lot of special effects.
No.
Regular, real, easy stuff.
So apparently the model of the city was repainted and repurposed for Blade Runner.
Wow.
Which
Wow.
is pretty cool.
That's a lot. Well, a lot of pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pieces.
And Blade Runner was a model kit bash.
Mhm.
You know, extravaganza.
I love the models in Blade Runner.
Which version? That's a whole nother podcast.
Yes. Like, what, 5 of them?
Do a commentary for each one.
Oh my god.
That would definitely be one to do.
For all you sadists out there.
Now, is it me or are the pants getting tighter? Or is he just that he's
It's because he's not wearing a shirt.
Well, I'd like
That's
to
why.
know. I'd like to know why you were paying attention.
Forget it. You know, I don't have to. I'm trying to make a serious point here, and your mind always goes
During
to
the
that.
Star Trek podcast, you kept talking about the unitards and the packages and the gaffer tape. What is it with you? You're scaring me.
Listen, you always make fun of me and the man groomer. The guy you're going to see next
Oh,
probably
this guy.
invented the
It was
man
they
groomer.
invented
Yeah.
it for him.
Look at that.
Ox Baker.
Now,
How'd you like to wrestle that?
Steve, did you? I went to a Chiller show where he was there. I
Yeah.
don't know if you were with me. I
I
mean,
was
I
there.
didn't go up and talk to him, but
I think I was at
yeah,
that one.
and
yeah.
he had and he had the same. It was just it
Same.
was gray.
Mhm.
He had the eyebrows and he had
The
the
beard?
beard. Yeah, he was there. I should have got his autograph.
Look
Look
at
at that
that.
hair. Look at that. He kind of looks like you, Carlos, without hair on top.
Are you right now as turned on as Steve is?
Professional wrestler, Ox
Yes.
Baker.
And the man diaper really, that's the best part.
But he kind of predates our generation of wrestlers.
Oh, he's got
Yeah,
the...
it was that late 70s,
Yeah.
Early 80s club
Right.
level professional wrestling. It was you could see it, but it was not as widely available. And that probably another couple of years before that happened.
Mm-hmm.
The Duke is going to speak.
This is a great line.
Mm-hmm.
Freedom is in Queens.
Freedom is.
It's in Queens. I mean, it's the next few bridge.
Well, is he gonna go? So he's gonna go to Long Island.
What are they going to just keep
He's
running
coming-
till they hit the
water?
Montauk
Montauk Point?
and just jump in the water?
And take the ferry.
Wouldn't it make
Wait
sense to go to
for it,
Jersey?
wait
You could
for
go a
it.
lot of other places.
On the hood of my car. Yeah. On the hood of my car, mother.
What'd you
Let's
say?
do it.
Don't
great.
say that. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Shut your mouth.
Shaft, snake, Pliskin.
They're locking bats.
Now we know Kurt Russell was genuinely
Terrified.
nervous.
Yeah, well, apparently Ox Baker didn't get the memo that this is a movie, so he really was hauling
It
off
was
and,
welling on him.
and belting Kurt Russell.
Oh.
And
Now, is this a double or is this
No,
him?
I don't think. I think some of the shots might be dull, but I think Kurt Russell got clocked.
yeah, he did. He got tossed around the ring until he gave a love tap to Ox Baker's groin, and then he finally got the message.
Oh, not him again. Magic beans. Oh, that's right.
I love it.
Now, apparently, Donald Pleasance, he improvised that.
Good
He
for
said,
him.
"Put the wig on me."
Now put some lipstick. Call me Clarice.
Clarice.
Oh,
Boom, boom.
this is a great.
A very
Death.
melodramatic death.
Point.
I can't say I'm sorry to see him go.
I wonder what pinball machine that is in the background.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now
You
they're
know, up
going
the ante a bit.
Yeah.
Swiss-
This
spikes,
fight is
that's-
boring.
shields.
Who needs something I can impale you with?
Where's my corner man?
It's Mickey.
He actually has a bell. It's great. Like, why even have a rule? Like,
Yeah.
why have rounds?
Look at the look.
Would you like 3 or 4 nails, sir? 3 will be fine.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Maybe that's Fresno Bob.
Everybody else knows him is in there. You hit me, I hit you. You hit me, I hit you. Look at that back.
This is
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
95 degrees, humidity.
Oh, you can see the sweat on the Blu-ray. You can see how nasty Ox
I-
is.
I want standard definition. I can't watch too much of this.
Back sweat.
They're locking bats, gentlemen. Uh-oh.
Oh, look at that. He's
Oh,
dispensing with the
crap.
shield.
Oh!
I love it.
Oh, it sticks in his head.
Oh, boy. The crowd is not going to be happy.
It's kind of like when Luke kills the Rancor.
Okay, so now they know he's still alive.
Right.
Give me back my watch.
Yeah, because he's got the other. Right.
Look at that Coca-Cola product placement right there.
Do you
you
think
go.
that's what that is?
Oh, yeah. Again, low budget. Take every dollar you can get.
Maximize.
So, $6 million was the budget. Apparently, the movie made $50 million worldwide.
Really?
Yeah.
But was it a hit here?
I think it did pretty well here.
Let's kill Brain. And they would just leave him? It's like, guys, what about me?
Well, you know, Carpenter, he was given, the next film he did was The Thing, which was a big studio budgeted film. I mean, so this had to be.
Which did not go over well.
Which did not go over well.
It was too much. People couldn't handle that grotesque
No.
special effects. But we love it.
Yes, we do. We should comment on that one, too.
Oh, yeah. They're making that prequel,
prequel.
right?
The prequel.
When does that come out?
August, I think.
I think, but they still haven't officially released that trailer. I saw a camcorder,
Yeah,
bootleg
yeah,
trailer.
Yeah.
Did you
As
see
a matter of
the
fact,
trailer?
I think
Yeah.
it got
Yeah.
pushed to maybe November.
Oh, okay. Because
I
August
think-
is not a good month. It's always like, that's the month of death.
Getting to the chopper.
And isn't the cast for the prequel like really authentic, like Norwegian people?
Some of them, I think.
Some of them?
There might be a few names you recognize.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, he
On top of the World Trade Center.
with a bum leg.
Yeah.
The tallest building. Don't mess up my toy plane. Oh,
Oh,
crap.
you fools.
Now, it's night again. Very quickly.
Very quickly. Fully night. Not just dusk.
Redskins. This is like a gang, I guess.
Now they got to go back down the stairs.
Oh, my God, all over again. I guess they gotta go. Notice they keep going to the same hallway because I guess they can't find another one. Okay, at that rate, it would take him 6 weeks to get off the building.
Nice ride.
Now think about this. I got an idea. I'm gonna go hide and wait in case somebody shows up and decides to, I don't know, pop the hood. That's very like Muppet Show of them. There's the Duke. I'm blind. Where's Gabby? So now it's the mad dash to the bridge.
We're coming up on conclusion.
So that would normally be a 15, 20-minute drive. Now, granted, there's no traffic, but there's those barricades everywhere.
Right.
You know?
Did they say tritium?
Yeah. That's what it sounded like.
23 minutes left before his head explodes.
Now this music sounds kind of Tron-y.
Yeah.
Jan Hammer.
Yeah.
Chandelier time. And what's that garland in the back? They're there already. Wow.
Yeah.
Plus, the 59th Street Bridge has only a one-way.
Yeah,
path.
I know, right? It's one. No, well, this is the 69th Street Bridge.
There's no such.
So apparently, the story behind the bridge is they couldn't afford the insurance liability, so Carpenter bought the bridge from the city for like $1, and then he sold it back to them after they were done filming, so that there was no liability if somebody were to get hurt or killed.
Oh, I
That's
see.
cool.
Amazing that you could actually do that.
Yeah.
What if he decided to keep it? He'd be a millionaire by now.
The Duke and his '77 Cadillac Fleetwood. I think my dad had that car.
He's still
Without
twitchy.
the chandeliers, though.
And the disco
And the mirror
ball.
ball. There you go. So he's alone in his car. He's got nobody with
Yeah,
him,
he's
right?
got none of his boys.
Why doesn't any of his posse?
Yeah.
Oh, wrong turn. Okay, we get off now.
Say goodbye to Cabby.
Cabby bought it,
Yep.
just like he did in Poseidon Adventure.
No, he lived. He lived in Poseidon
Did
Adventure.
he? Oh, his wife died.
His wife died.
That's
yeah.
right.
He got pissed at Gene Hackman. Oh,
Ernest Borgnine's still with us. 95 years old.
yeah. Didn't he just get an honorary Oscar?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think he's gotten
Or
an Oscar.
was it some kind of Lifetime Achievement Award from
Maybe.
somebody?
I mean, because he actually does have an Oscar.
Maybe it was...
Oh!
Donald Pleasant's like, okay, whatever.
More expendable people. You're going to have to watch Swamp Thing if you want to do that.
That's Swamp Thing. You make my heart sing.
Who was in Swamp Thing 2?
Heather Locklear.
Heather Locklear, right, right. Oh, man.
Maggie, we got to go.
Maggie.
His hair is getting longer. He's like, whatever. Here you go. Take the gun. Keep running.
Oof.
Now, they don't have the map. They're running blind.
Yes. Now, I know she's pissed, but, I don't think that I would...
But he's like, you know what? I can't argue with him. just, I gotta go. Oh!
There you go.
Look at that reflecting tape.
I know.
So
look at that.
apparently, in all the excitement, Carpenter forgot to shoot that. So
Oh,
they
that's an
actually
insert?
shot that
In
in his
or
garage.
something? Yeah, I
That's
heard about
great.
that. Yeah.
Even the best of them. It's amazing sometimes that films actually get made.
Whoa.
Doesn't
Now
that
you're
look like the Get Smart?
Holy
no.
film?
That's
Somebody's-
World War
It's a
II.
boot.
That's some serious walkie-talkie there.
You got to dial that one. It's
Yeah,
so big.
you gotta call the chief.
Radar. Monkey muffin.
Yeah, you gotta.
Get Icor on the phone, Radar.
Mr. President, don't step on that. Get your ass up that damn thing. Here comes the Duke.
Whoa.
Ugh.
Now, there's gonna be a moment coming up that I don't quite understand. I'll tell you. And
How did he get behind him?
no. Although that's interesting too.
Yeah, don't shoot him. Just leave him there so he can come back and try to kill you.
Yeah, well, yeah, but when he gets up on the winch, and
Why it
why does he
stopped?
stop it? Why would he stop it?
To draw the other guy out?
Well, I think he's gonna shoot at him anyway.
Because I think he might have gotten there already if...
There we go.
Ah!
You're the Duke.
Number
I love it. Yeah, the Duke. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is the Duke.
Of New York. Hey, number one.
Hey, number one. The evil is gone from here.
Evil is here.
In this town.
Well, I think he wanted his moment with the Duke.
Yeah.
So he figured, you know what, Snake, you're just going to sit right there. Don't get in my way.
You're
Let
not
me
going to
unload
die.
on this guy.
Here comes Kurt Russell's
All right,
stuntman.
this is, what do they
Oh,
call
is
this?
he hiding there?
Oh,
when
this
he
is
gets
the,
up?
Yeah.
That
the,
trick?
what do they call it? The Tennessee switch or something like that?
Yeah.
Where
Texas switch?
The Texas switch. Where the
I like
stuntman
that.
drops down and then Kurt Russell's hiding
Right.
behind the Jeep.
The tape. That was very futuristic.
He's like, that's it?
I said, I gotta check the clock. Hold on. Let me see if my head will explode.
You look pissed.
Well, he promised he was gonna kill him.
I know.
There we go. Cleaning up the president.
Look at this, shaving him.
Duh. He's missing a finger.
Am I ready for my close-up?
He's like, yeah, I thought so.
He's like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna screw you, but good.
Checking for weapons. You get this final shot with Van Cleef.
This is a great line.
Maybe later.
Could have made a TV series out of these two.
This is a franchise character. I think he could have played him 4 or 5 times. It's too bad.
And here comes the typical Carpenter ending.
F you.
F you to the man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. 8-track. Pop the 8-track.
There you go.
Boombox.
Bandstand.
Bandstand.
That's great.
So, is it supposed to be some like
like we're sharing this technology
free
with
energy
you.
or something?
Yes.
We're gonna live
Free
in
energy,
peace
yes.
and
Stop fighting.
let's stop fighting over it here. But knowing Carpenter, he probably, you know, the Americans were probably going to screw the other countries somehow.
Right.
Now, maybe we should just talk a little bit about Escape from L.A., which Steve and I did see together.
Yes,
Frank
we did.
Doubleday play Romero.
Yes. That was quite a disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the character and how he really could have become a franchise. And they had a prime opportunity, and it just became a series of set pieces that were completely ridiculous and not plausible. And the villain was very weak.
Extremely weak.
I mean, he'd be lucky if he was one of the Duke's henchmen.
Right.
So I agree. I think it was a wasted opportunity completely.
And I think he there was so few. It was such a copy of this.
Yeah.
You know, he really didn't. It didn't seem as though Carpenter was trying to be original. It just seemed like he was, you know, just moving it to
Same
LA.
story, different place.
Same story,
That was
different
it.
place. You know, same sleazy president, and you know, you had your. It was nice to see Bruce Campbell in that.
It was.
But,
His character, I thought, was one of the better.
But they were over the top. The characters were over the
yeah,
top.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. Its only saving grace was just seeing Russell play the character again.
Yes.
You know,
Wearing the costume, you know.
wearing the costume, being Snake. I mean that.
But it was almost a parody of itself.
Yeah.
It was. And the effects were horrendous.
Absolutely.
That whole surfing scene with
Peter
Peter Fonda.
Fonda.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
God.
And that happened pretty close to the beginning. And I remember looking at you, just thinking, "Wow, what did we sign on
Yeah.
for?" But
and we waited so long.
that basketball scene was pretty cool.
That was
when
cool.
they're in the Coliseum and he has to make all those shots.
That was cool.
That was good. But yeah, it was really kind of sad.
Yeah.
And since then, the closest we've ever gotten to it is this
Remake.
Gerard Butler thing that
Yeah.
probably won't happen
Well, not that it. I don't think it's.
with him at least.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But Carpenter has been asked, you know, what would you do? And he, you know, for another Snake adventure, and he always says, "Escape from Earth."
Mm-hmm.
You know, but he never gives any more detail. I think had Escape from LA been successful, you know, I think they were ready to jump on that bandwagon at that time.
Yeah.
You know,
I wonder why they waited so long.
I don't know. You know, because by the time Russell was still A-list, but Carpenter, he had long fallen.
And
Jim Cameron.
Jim Cameron, directors of photography for the effects company, and he's also listed as Matt Artwork. Interesting. For a guy who apparently used to drive trucks for a living.
Start somewhere.
Well, the collaboration between Carpenter and
Kurt
Russell continues, as
Very
we've discussed
fruitful.
in the past. Bigger films, better films, I would say, maybe a little bit, some of them. But this is the
I
one
like
that kind of
them all.
started them.
Everyone's going to New York. Music and lyrics by Nick Castle.
I they had a very fruitful collaboration. I like all the. I mean, Escape from L.A. being the weakest, but they had they had a good run.
Cool. Well, this is the end of our 1981 version of Escape from New York. As we could see, we talked about earlier, some of it was shot in St. Louis. They did some pickups probably in New York, like they say right there.
PT's Centerville, I think, is a strip club.
And that brings us to the end of our commentary for Escape from New York. I'd like to thank Steve Ivona and Steve Loax for joining me today. And we will meet again sometime in the future to discuss some future films on some regular shows. So for everybody listening, thank you for listening to our show. And join us again next time on Geekfest Rants.
See you next time.
Later.